Well, I've thought that once I've shut up about this issue, that the racism will go away. But unfortunately, it haven't. And Latinos are still being racist to black people.
The Latino and Hispanic community is so anti-black is because their culture is deeply rooted in black erasure. The ideologies in that culture is deeply rooted in black erasure. Let's touch on three of them. Mejara la raza, improve the race, and in many Latin American countries, especially Mexico, is used to suggest that someone should have children with lighter skin or more European looking partner to make the next generation more socially accepted or seen as more beautiful, smart, and successful. All these ideologies lead back to whiteness. Some more whitening, Mesta Saha. And this is a gaslighting word because it says we're all mixed. So, racism don't exist. But this very word, it only focuses on the Europeans that's mixed with the indigenous people. Completely erasing the black identity or any African ancestry. Which brings us to this word, blacko. It's just whitening, more whitening. Y'all could pause this if y'all want, but there we go, more whitening. Bottom line, the ideology is deeply rooted in the erasure of blackness and indigenous people. If it was up to the white Latinos, Afro-Latinos wouldn't exist, and neither would the indigenous people. Latin America's goal was to be Argentina.
When exactly are Spanish people, like Mexicans and Puerto Ricans, when exactly are they our brothers and sisters? When we're out there marching, I don't ever see a Spanish or Mexican out there fighting for black rights. When it comes to getting pulled over, do they say, oh, I'm black, I'm of black descent? When it comes to getting jobs, when they go and apply for somewhere and put on their job application, do they put that they're black? Do they put that they're two or more races? Like, let's be for real. There is no such thing as black and brown stand proud when it comes to Spanish people, because they're actually more racist than white people are. Like, let's be for real. When exactly do they stand with us? But yet they will stand around and say, Jiggle, I can say this and I can say, how can you tell us what you can do when it comes to our race and our history? Like, y'all wasn't out there. Like what Rick Ross said. Rick Ross said, you wasn't with me when I was shooting in the gym. They wasn't with us, baby, when we was out there in them cotton fields. They wasn't with us when we was out here building these white people houses, brick by brick, layer by layer. They wasn't with us when these white people was out here throwing our babies, using them as gator bait. Like, be freaking for real. Y'all are not like us. I don't care how much you try to appropriate our culture and be like us. You are not us.
And I don't want y'all to think it's a black versus Latino thing. No, baby. It gets bigger. It gets bigger, and I'm going to expose it. The Puerto Rican versus Dominican. The Dominican versus black, vice versa. Let's talk about it. I was married, and I had a brother-in-law that was Puerto Rican. And his father was having issues at work. He worked at this job for over 30 years as maintenance supervisor. Ran buildings, make sure everything was clean. All the repairs were done. He was on point with it. So a new group of people got hired, Dominicans. And they lied and did all types of scamming schemes and got that man to retire. Got that man to retire. Everything they did was lies. Everything they said was lies. It was crazy. But he retired and just moved to Florida. And I spoke to my brother-in-law. And he was like, yeah, we was trying to get everything together. But I had to let him know something. The reason why he didn't keep his job, and I'm going to be 100% real with you, he didn't hire any blacks. He didn't hire any blacks. All his Puerto Ricans went with the Dominicans and backdoored him. If he would have had some blacks working under his tenure, he would have hired a few. Because he's old school Puerto Rican. Some of y'all got some old school ways where y'all don't want to work with blacks. But if he had some black people, especially me. I would have blamed absolutely freaking not. They're liars. And we're not going to do this to this man or for lies. But since it wasn't a diverse work environment, the Dominican people were able to remove this man. And this happens at numerous jobs. This happened with me at Gucci. A Dominican manager lied on me to get me fired. And then what happened after her? 2 weeks after that, she was fired. Gucci, I need answers. Y'all know what she did. It was lies. Who's going to do a no-call, no-show after 5 years of service with a 401k? Fix it, Jesus. This is what goes on with blacks and Latinos and blacks, and we need to stop it. It ends in 2025. Grow up. If I close your nose and close my nose, we both can't breathe, we both die. So it means we are similar. Fix it, Jesus. I hope you fix it.
And he's going to discuss the fact that black people cannot be racist. Because a lot of Latinos been calling black people racist as well. So he's going to give you the reason why he doesn't believe that black people are capable of being racist.
Yes, black people can be prejudiced. Yes, black people can be hateful. When someone says, at least an educated person, says that black people can't be racist, what they're saying is black people can't use their power to oppress anyone. They can't use their power to systemically, covertly, or overtly damage anyone's life, attack anyone's life, hold anyone's livelihood for ransom, things of that nature, right? The reason why black people can't do that is because they don't have power. And then I always know there's going to be a person there saying, but we have black billionaires. Like I've said many a time before, the best way to make a group of people think that they're on an even playing field with you is to let a couple of them slip through the cracks. Again, I've used the Attack on Titan reference where Marley would allow honorary Marleyan citizenship to some of the Eldians so that the Eldians wouldn't revolt, thinking that if they behaved well enough, then they might become honorary Marleyans as well. That's the same thing that's happening here. There are a couple black rich people to allow the other black people to think, if I just play the game right, I can get there too. The dude Anthony Mackie, who plays Captain America now, I don't know if y'all saw his interview with them black dudes. He was like, I've learned in my 24 years in this industry that success is not earned. Success is given. No, I'm not saying that you can't become successful by working hard. That's not what I'm saying. But what Anthony Mackie was saying is that success is given. He's seen people have one successful movie and then start winning Academy Awards and all this type of stuff. He's seen other people in the industry who's been in it for a long time. They don't get anything. Somebody had to choose those people to go on. But I mean, you gotta look into it deeper. There's a lot. I can't explain the entirety of how racism works. Like, I can't do that. You gotta be diligent and look it up on your own, really.
It's not going to work. Latinos are not going to unite with black people. They've had 60 years to do so. So what makes you think they're going to all of a sudden have a change of heart? It's not going to happen. They see you as their competition for jobs and resources. If they unite with you, they feel like they will be sharing their resources with you. And they don't want to do that. They want it all for themselves. Just like that Latina girl in the video. It's always Latino only. You never hear them say blacks and Latinos. When they got something going on, it's only exclusively for them. But for some reason, black people keep saying black and Latinos, black and brown, whenever you're trying to get resources for your own people.
Yo, I will never understand how Latinos could hate black people. Like, most, if not all of your ancestors come from Africa, bro. En los años 1600, cuando el tirano mandó, like, I know I've been making my little salsa videos talking about how it's influenced and came from Africa, but I really don't think y'all understand, bro. Like, well over 90% of Africans during the slave trade came to South America and the Caribbeans. Like, I don't Like, I'm not even talking about politics right now. I'm talking about human to human logic, common freaking sense, bro. Like, are y'all dumb? Like, I really want to understand how your brain operates. How could you be racist when your ancestors are literally African? Este cabello que ustedes ven aquí, this hair, Africa, baby. This little bit of melanin, Africa. Like, I really don't understand. I truly don't understand.
Dear Latinos, being racist to other Latinos, indigenous, and black folks will not bring you any closer to the whiteness that you crave so much.
Alright guys, so lately I've been seeing on my TikTok a lot of black people saying how bad black people or like colored people in general are treated in Latin America, specifically freaking Mexico and all of Costa Rica, whatever. And I'm just here to give you my take, which is basically confirming that they're 100% correct. So you can't really tell right now, but like I'm like a dark brown. I am black, but like I'm in the darker side of the brown spectrum. If that makes sense. So my mom is like me, darker brown. She has a lot of indigenous DNA and or genes or whatever. So I came out like my mom, and my dad, he's white. So when I was born and I came out like this color brown, you wanna know what my grandma told me, bro? My dad's side of the family told me, from my mom. ¿Quién es ese negro? And don't get me wrong, that word's not like a bad word or whatever, a racist word or term or whatever. It's the color black, but like they say it like in a bad way, like it was like a slur. Does that make sense? They literally called me a black. Like, who is that black? They didn't think I was a freaking part of, like, they didn't think I was the son of my dad. And when I was a baby, I had like curly hair, bro. People thought I was a girl, bro. And guess what my parents did? They cut all my hair, bro. And now look how it is, bro. So all these black people out there saying, like, this Hispanic saying, no, that's not true, whatever. They're lying, bro. Black people are 100% correct, bro. There's a lot of there's a lot of classism, colorism, and like sexism. Bro, it's really true, bro. This is why I don't live in Mexico. This is why I live in the USA. And yeah, man, 100% right, 100% correct. Everything they're saying, all these TikTokers are saying that Mexicans treat black people and colored people wrong, which is 100% true. I don't know why y'all know, but that's facts.
Unless someone is actually African, calling them Afro is racist. Mixed people or people who have mixed ancestry that includes African are not Afro Latinos. They are mixed. There are literally actual full-blooded African Latinos. They are full-blooded African. Their race is black and Negro, 100%. They would be the only ones it makes sense to call Afro-Latino. Afro-Latino. We don't do that with white ones, do we?
Latino saying the N-word, let's talk about it. Because growing up in California, specifically LA, you have the people who understand why you shouldn't say it. What's the point of you saying it? You're not supposed to say it. That is not yours for you to say. And then those that just throw it around like a good morning. This morning I saw a video of Jenny69, who was canceled, by the way, having beef with Alanize, and this is very Latino coded. And she said, like, I don't want to talk about him. Me and that are done or fell out, whatever the case may be. And I'm just like, no mames. That's what we're doing? And I mean, granted, she's a Trumper, so I shouldn't be surprised. But the ignorance, and seriously, like, I just want to take this moment to tell Latinos that is not ours to say. That is not our word to say. Leave it alone, drop it. That just how we have words that we don't want other people to say to us, we cannot be throwing this thing around like that. Like, that is not ours. Stop it.
Latinos should not be using the N-word. You are not united with black people. Therefore, you shouldn't be using. Now, if you was united with black people, then maybe. But because you're not united with black people, by default, you're against black people. So why would you want to use that word? You're not united, so you should not be using the N-word. Point blank, period. That stuff has to stop immediately.
Gonna appropriate black culture, at least try to do it right. My Latinos and my Hispanics, what you should be co-opting from the black community right now is protesting with the same ferocity. I see a lot of my Latinos and Hispanics co-opting everything else from the black community in regards to culture, even the N-word. But the one important thing that a lot of you do not want to co-opt is protesting for yourselves. Some of y'all will fight tooth and nail to say the N-word, but when it's time to stand up for your own people, you're too scared to stand up for yourselves and stand up for your community. Instead, we see too many times some Hispanics and Latinos get on here and shamelessly gaslight the black community for not protesting on their behalf after they're the ones who voted for this bullshit. And I don't want to hear that you're afraid of being picked up by ICE, because you should have thought of that before you voted the way you did. Now it's up to Latinos and Hispanics to get out there and fix it. So moving forward, Latinos and Hispanics, can we start co-opting protesting tactics from the black community with the same ferocity as the black community?
Like I said, Chica, I'm just taking it on firsthand experience and what I've told by actual Mexicans who told me about how they grew up and what they were taught. But anyone else that comes into these comments, if they would like to confirm or deny, I'd be greatly appreciated. But I will say again, I was told specifically that they are told that they can date anyone as long as it ain't that you can be disowned if you date this. And that's multiple accounts from multiple states in multiple places around the United States, not just California.
She's going to speak on, the stuff that's happening with ICE. She's going to speak on the ICE situation. But my thing is that Latinos have done this to themselves. Trump told you what he was going to do. He told you that when he wins, he's going to do the largest deportation in U.S. history. And you still went and voted for him because you didn't want a black lady in the White House. That's the only reason why you voted for him. Because why would you vote for yourselves to be oppressed and deported? That don't make any sense. So the only logical answer or reasoning for you voting for Trump, because you didn't want a black lady in the White House. You didn't want a black lady to be ruling over you and controlling the system.
It was never about deporting criminals. It was always about racism. And for the Latinos that don't understand this, that are like, well, I did it right. Well, my family did it right. It doesn't matter. They don't like you. You will never be one of them. Right now, you are useful and beneficial. But once they no longer need you, they're coming for you. They're coming right now after citizens. They're coming after children. They're coming after people who have a status and are going to immigration court. They're breaking every single law, and they are doing it without due process. They are just deporting people. If you look a certain way, if you have a certain tattoo that they think might or might not, you're out. You're out. If they could deport me, they would. That is why they say that the worst enemy of a Latino is another Latino. It is us. Because I do not need to be in danger of deportation to know that what is happening is wrong. It doesn't need to specifically apply to me for me to fight for the rights of those who cannot fight for themselves. It's not about me versus them. It's about what they're doing to us. They are attacking our community, and they are pushing that line further and further to see how much they can continue to get away with. And they are expecting for us to be desensitized and for it to become the norm and for us to not fight back anymore. And for me, at least, that is not something I will ever do. I will always stick up for the rights of those who need me to do so, because my moral compass just doesn't let me operate in any other way. And that's why I don't understand how so many people can sit by and see their own community be shredded into pieces and not say a goddamn thing. I'll be quite honest, there's brand deals I haven't taken, there's growth that I haven't done in my own channels because I am opinionated, because I speak on issues that are not pleasant for certain brands to be associated with, and I don't give a damn. I don't give a damn. I will continue to do so, because when wrong is wrong, wrong is wrong. And again, it's not about criminals. It's about racism. It's about hatred. It's about them not liking the skin that we are born with. It's about them not liking us as a whole. But one thing they got right is they understood the self-hatred that a lot of Latinos have for their own community, and they're weaponizing and capitalizing on that hatred, because a lot of Latinos feel that they're not a part of here. They're white adjacent enough and they fit in enough and they're a part of there. But you think that because you're useful now, they're not coming for you later because you belong, because you are white enough, because you did things right. They don't give a damn. At the end of the day, no matter how many hats you wear and how much you do, you will always be who you are. No ands, ifs, or buts about it. That's all there is to it. Fight me.
Now, I think if we're going to have a conversation about the perception of Black people refusing to join on the front lines with the Hispanic community or the Latino community during these protests and during this movement, and then, you know, people saying, you're next, we were first. That's one. Secondly, and I say this as someone born and raised in LA, anybody knows the population of Latinos here is dominant. It is the dominant culture. So you don't actually need the numbers to have the power. And quite frankly, you've been had the power. You know that. So nonetheless, this brings me to my point. I don't think we're discussing enough, and it is the relations between the Black and brown community. We've always needed unification. We've been calling for unification forever. They love to bring up George Floyd. You had to watch someone get murdered on national television by a man in uniform before you decided to get up. And if we're going to be real, a lot of the activism that we saw during that period was only popular culture. It is only because if you didn't participate, then you would be shamed for it. You would be seen as an op. That's the only reason why corporations got on board. And you see the exact thing that they did when they had the opportunity to jump ship on DEI and any of the things that came out of George Floyd. Now, with that being said, we're not going to act like this community within and of itself can't stand Black people. Black people have suffered more discrimination from the Hispanic community than damn near any other. I mean, like, it is the equivalent. It's white adjacent. And so if we're having this conversation, we are with you in the fight, because injustice is injustice, whether it's us, whether it's you, whether it's somebody else. That's not the question here. The call to action is that you want us to fight for you, and you were never fighting for us. And so now let's sit that on the table. Let's have that conversation, because if we're going to address the fact that you want us to participate in your fight, which we're okay with, but if you want us to go to the table, let's call out the fact that you have historically not respected us. Put yourself up and made, whether publicly or privately, proclamations about how you would never want your daughter to date a Black man. You call us mayates. Like, let's get into it. Quite frankly, while we're talking about this discourse in general, it is counterproductive to the real mission of the fact that white supremacy is the bottom line for it all. And y'all are mad at the wrong ones. Mad at the wrong ones. You're not even pointing the finger where they present with allyship and they're really still an enemy, where they're quick to get on the front lines and get a photo op. But when it comes to job hiring, when it comes to housing opportunities,
when it comes to opportunities that can get you grants, access to resources, expanding your community, expanding your wealth, you don't have access to those things. If we're really going to have the conversation, it needs to involve pointing the barrel of the gun where it belongs. And that's not on black people. Baby, we don't even have the power. You got more power than us, and it's easier for you guys to present as us being the enemy instead of pointing that frustration, that anger, that hostility, that resentment where it belongs. If anything, if you really want to get into change, you're gonna have to be accountable to how you show up with us. You're going to have to be accountable for the historical beliefs and programming of your ancestors, your grandparents, great-grandparents, some of the things that they say in their households, some of the things they say out in public, some of the ways in which they show up in the workplace, some of the ways in which they show up in the community. These are all things at play. It's not just about get out here, let's protest on this one moment in history. What are you doing on an everyday basis? It shows that you either support racism or you're against it. And that's the conversation that y'all are not really having like that. Black, brown, Asian, Latino, anybody. Whoever, what are you doing on a daily basis that shows that you either support or reject racism? I don't care who you are. Protest all you want. Y'all been protesting for centuries about everything. You know what I'm saying? When you gonna fuck shit up? When you gonna come together enough to really mobilize change? Permanent change, not temporary change. Their power in numbers.
Adelantar la raza, that, marry yourself a white guy, and, or, that way your last name changes, the children get lighter, and you assimilate into whiteness, which many of them just perceive as survival and upward mobility. It is not even about humanity. It's just about how do we get these people off of us, So when I see, and I hear about this attitude towards black people was always something that was not in me. So when this attitude about blackness, us being better than them, it never resonated with me. And a reckoning and a lesson that, you treat people like people, and just being able to watch funny people, and it just, those 70s, 80s sitcoms had a very big impact on me.
And she's going to speak on Latino racism towards black people. And I'm glad that a lot of black people are talking about the anti-blackness in the Latino community. Because remember, at one point, it was all about white supremacy. They only spoke on white racism. So that goes to show you that times are changing.
Today I want to talk to you guys about a topic I actually saw it happen. Okay? People say Miami is not racist. There was a topic last week on TikTok because the girls come to Miami for nightclub, they didn't let her in. I understand that part. But there's some part in Miami, you got the Latino people that racist. Not even the white Caucasian doing it. The Latino people, right? The Latino people that came here as an immigrant that doing the racist. Now, here's the thing about Latino people. They like to stick with their own people, right? I had a black lady that walked into a place that asked for an application for a job. I witnessed everything. They didn't want to give it to her because they want to keep the whole entire place as in Spanish people. They like to speak Spanish, like they don't want to bring other culture. They don't want to give other people a chance, but they're not fair. Now, the lady called ICE on them. Now, this is where I don't think the lady's wrong, okay? Black people, I'm going to tell y'all something. Any Spanish people, any Latino, if you have the privilege, you have power to be a manager at any location, any store. Anyone that walks to you, asks for a job, you're supposed to give them a job because everybody got bills, everybody have family, they have to support, they have to live. You can't stick with your own culture. That's not making sense. That's called racist. I run to that problem before. I was working in an office. I was the only African American and another girls that was black. They fired both of us because we can understand them because they only stick with the Spanish. But Apparently the office is supposed to be run in English. Long story short, the lady want a job, they don't want to give it a job, the manager is Spanish, the whole entire people crew, they're all Spanish, and the manager can barely speak English, and then she called ICE on them. Now, do I think the lady's wrong for that? No, the lady's not wrong for that. The reason why, that's a racist. First of all, you came in that country, you're looking to live, to have a fair life with family. You can't be discriminate who you want to give job if it's not one of your people, one of your like Latino people. No. Yes, in Miami it's like that. A lot of job in Miami, if you go for the South Miami, you don't speak Spanish, you're not one of them, they're not gonna give it to you. Yes, they got it like that. They don't do it because they're racist, they do it because they want to keep their own community together. Now, if you dark skinned, you from Panama or somewhere, you speak Spanish, you will fit. But if you don't speak Spanish, you don't fit. Now, that's one of the things I think Donald Trump should be removed from this system or pass a law. You can't tell people, oh, if you don't speak Spanish, you can't work here. No, this is America. You're supposed to speak English, okay? Just like I came here, I learned even if I have an accent. Other people came here, Chinese, Asian, other people came here. European people come here, they speak, they try. But Spanish people have that problem. They don't want to learn. So when they create like supermarket, any other business, Burlington, Walgreens, wherever you go in South Miami, if you don't speak Spanish, you cannot get a job. And let me tell you something, like 85% of them don't have paper. They do not have paper. Now, I would never do such a ugly things like that. Me as personally, I would have just walked somewhere else, look for other job, just moving forward. Now, because of your petty ass stupid thing, you don't want to give an African American that born and raised in this country a job, so they call ICE on you. I witnessed that. So I didn't record it because I didn't want to be getting involved with nonsense stuff. But all you have to do, job is a job. If someone come clean and ask you for application, you give them a job. You don't discriminate because they're not Spanish. You want to keep your own screw or your own crew. No, it doesn't work like that. If that's the case and you guys keep doing this, a lot of black people gonna call ICE on you guys. I won't feel bad. I won't feel any certain way for calling ICE for somebody to do this. If I have my paper, I speak English, the job say they're hiring, I came and asked for an application, you're supposed to hand it to me and interview me, give me the job, But you can't expect to keep your own Latino people together. No. Just like your Latino people got bills, black people got bills, Asian people got bills, Caucasian people got bills too. Don't do this. So they call ICE. Let me tell you something. It did not went well. It went so ugly. Now, do I feel bad because the lady did this? No, because you should have like treating her the same way you treat Latino. Now it gets started in Miami. I don't know if you guys know about it. If you go South Miami, anywhere there's a lot of Spanish people working there, you ask for an application, give it to them. Even you're not gonna hiring them, give it to them. Okay? Don't tell them, oh, we're looking for somebody that speak English or speak Spanish. Don't say it. If you say it, they're gonna step outside, call ICE on you guys. Okay? Give it to them. Give it to them. Anyone that walks to your place, you're a manager, you're Spanish, they ask you for an application, give it to them. Because when these people came, they just pick anyone. They don't care. Even if your family, your friend member bail you out with, but you in. So don't do it. Anyone that in a position to be a manager or manager, anyone that works to you, if you have a sign say you hiring, just give them the application. That's it. I'm saying only South Miami, not everywhere in Miami, like Doral, Kendall, stuff like that. It's a lot of Latino manage this place. Yes, that's what they do. They only stick with their own kind. It doesn't look good. I saw it. I couldn't believe it. The lady was so mad, and the lady's not even from Caribbean. She was like straight blood American. She was so mad. She stepped outside and called ICE. I'm telling you, they clean up that place. So I'm telling you guys, if anyone looking for a job, you're in Spanish people, you're in a position to be a manager, just give them the job. Black people gonna start doing that shit. And when black people want to be mean, they could be mean. Okay? So I'm just sharing that with you. I'm not saying I'm gonna do it. I'm not saying the lady did the right thing, and I'm not saying the lady did the wrong thing, but I think it's a fair game. So people struggle right now. A lot of people losing their job. If they ask for an application for job, they're having the opportunity open, give it to them. Don't think you want your kind people, only your people to work with you. No, don't work like that. Work is work. If anybody did that shit to me, it pissed me off. I don't think I will call ICE, but I will revenge a different way. But you know, some people have mean hearts. Some people don't like to get turned down. Some people don't like when people diss them. There's type of people out there don't like a certain thing. Just don't do it, guys. Okay? I'm just sharing the message with you. If you're Latino, you like in a position in Miami, black people walk into your place, ask you for a job. If the position is available, just give it to them. Even if they do something stupid, you fire them next week, just give it to them because they start doing this.
You know, a black male said in the comments before when he watched a few of my projects. He said, stop trying to get us to get on board with you or join with you to go against Latinos because you have some kind of personal issues with them. He said something like that. Like, I see what you're trying to do. You're trying to get us to join with you and go against them. When we don't have a problem, that's your personal stuff. Now, my question is, have you ever heard a black person say that? When another black person speak on white supremacy? Have you ever heard them talk like that? Stop trying to get us to help you because you hate white people. No. You only have a problem with white people.
Now that I have addressed the racism within my own community, let's talk about the anti-blackness that exists within the Latin American communities. So I wanted to take my time before I made this video. I knew it was coming, but I had to go out in, the field and ask my people what's going on. So this is what I concluded. When I went to go talk to them, they said that, we don't like African Americans because they feel that we owe them something. I want to make two things clear. First, I want to start off by saying that when we say things like this, we are following the same agenda that we are fighting against. We are fighting against white supremacy and racism. Those ideas that, that we have, the way we think, the way we are taught to fear African Americans, that is the same thing that we are fighting against. It's no different. When we choose to speak like this and participate in these stereotypes, we are no better than the people we are fighting against. And that is a point I want to make very clear to the people within my community, that you guys sound ignorant. We need to figure it out. Where do you truly stand with this? Because, people are right. You can't ask African Americans for help when this is in the real world. That is how they are treated. My second point. Reparations are owed to the African American community. Without them, we would not be able to vote. We would not be able to go to the same schools. We would not be able to sit wherever we want. Let's not forget. They have been fighting for a very long time, since they came here. And us not acknowledging, I know I don't feel that as a country we have paid the respect that they owe. They really do. We owe them everything. It's because of greats. They're great people. Malcolm X, Martin Luther King Jr., the Black Panthers, they paved the way for us. They are the blueprint. And for us to go and participate in the same mentality that we are fighting against, it's just horrible. And it's wrong. If we don't fix this type of mentality and check our people, we are no better than the people we are up against. I want you to know that ignorance is our greatest enemy. So please do not allow yourself to be blinded by hate. I love and respect everybody, and I just want to say that if there's more people in the Latin community who are with me, I need y'all to say something. I need y'all to join the fight with me, because I can't be the only one.
So why do Mexicans come to America and hate people? It's because in the United States we are taught to be separated. There's something in the U.S. that teaches all of us to stay separated. They want to keep minorities separated. There's a system where they try to put us against each other. And thus you have racist people on each community coming out talking down on one another. And I believe that they're missing a few brain cells. Because Mexicanos, we come in different shapes, sizes, and colors. We have black Mexicans, not just the indigenous ones, but we have black Mexicans with African features, like myself. If you study Chicano history or you go to Mexico and study the Mexican history, they push our African ancestry because it is very important to not lose who we are. Our second president was African. Mexico was one of the countries that was aiding the African slaves in the United States. Cinco de Mayo should be a big celebration for Africans in the United States and in Mexico, because the Afro-Mex came together with the indigenous Mexicans to fight off the French when the French were trying to go to that specific little town to enslave those Africans who had been freed for 33 years. And what happened when we came together? We kicked some butt. Martin Luther King Jr., if you guys pay attention, there was also Mexicans and other people of different colors parading with him, marching with him, protesting with him. If we go down in history and look at the times that we've won as people of color, as minorities, it's because we come together. And in the United States, it doesn't benefit the people, corporations, the people with more money than us, for us to come together. Why? Because if we stay separated, we can never take them on if they were to try to come after us. Why do we see more videos on social media about black people going to the Mexican vendors and destroying their places? But how come we never see the videos of the black people that go to these vendors and pay out for their food? Because it doesn't sell. Why don't we see videos of black people who are hanging out with Mexicans and Mexicans are loving them? But we see videos of Mexicans talking down to black people. Because it doesn't sell, right? If you as a black person go to Mexico, you're going to be bombarded by love. If you pay attention to our Mexicano Loteria, we have what we call El Negrito, and it's a black man dressed very dapper. And then you have the Mexican man called the drunk, El Borracho, and he's a snob, a slob. Even our game shows what we think of our Africans in Mexico. And while a lot of you share your horrible experiences about racist Mexicans, racist Latinos in the comment section, I am so sorry for your experience. But I stand on what I said in my previous video. It is an American thing to be racist amongst each other.
100 man versus 1 gorilla. How about 100 Hispanics versus not saying the N-word? 100 men versus 1 gorilla. All I said was 100 Hispanics versus not saying the N-word. Y'all would have thought I called for y'all to like be deported or something. Like, another thing, why are y'all attacking black women for something I said? Come after me, a black man. Okay, I can say something about my hair, right? I don't give a damn. But why y'all bringing up black women? Like, where did black women even... And I just find it so crazy because there was no need to disrespect black women. They get so much disrespect off the rip just for being black.
100 men, 100 Hispanics versus not saying the N-word got the Latin community showing their racist, colorist, anti-black ways. Because why are y'all so upset that he said that? He literally is telling y'all not to use a racial slur that you have no attachment or no relation to. We use it because we tried to take it back and reverse the meaning so that it would no longer have the same effect or hurtful connotation toward us that it originally was used for. Y'all are using it when y'all are not black. Y'all's family was not on the plantations. You was not called the N-word by the droves. You don't directly relate to that word nor that term. So the fact that a lot of y'all use it is really absurd. I've been saying this and everybody been saying, oh, they black too, they black too. No, they not. Because they recognize that they're not us when it's time to. They be me no black when it's convenient. Everybody want to be Afro this and black that because it's a little more trendy and they want to be connected to the lineage. They want to get the benefits, so on and so forth. But the fact that black women, 100 black women versus no wig, 100 black women versus the way they baby daddy at, Like, why y'all so racist? Everybody really fucking, I know, and we keep saying everybody hates us, everybody hates us. No, everybody's obsessed with us. Everybody loves us. I always say this, love and hate lives on the same spectrum. They love us so much that it starts to become hatred, envy, jealousy. Like, because what else is it? We don't do anything to any of you motherfuckers for y'all to keep going that hard. 100 black men versus child support, 100 black men versus not going to jail. Like, is y'all cool? All he said was don't you 100 Hispanics versus not using an N-word. That was not racist. It was not an attack. It was literally him saying, why do y'all think y'all get a pass to use a slur? Every day more and more on this app, I keep seeing how y'all really... At least the truth is being revealed. I've said it, we kind of on an island alone. We need to stop inviting everybody to the fucking cookout, and we need to stop allowing everybody to use racial slurs because they really are racist. Just because they speak a certain language does not mean they ain't white or white identifying or upholding white supremacy. Spread love is the Brooklyn way.
I'm gonna talk about this for the very last time. Here's my thing. If their family...
You have to understand that for a lot of black people in America, the only people that have ever called has been Latino and Hispanic people, and not the darker skinned ones. I'm talking about the non-black, more white presenting Latinos. And I can tell by the drawl that you have when you speak that you're not from New York City, which neither am I, and you're probably not from California either. But if you actually talk to black folk that's from New York City, Jersey, California, their experiences are different. They were more so in proximity to Latino people for these people to discriminate and disrespect them. And a lot of those people who are non-black Latinos who don't have papers, it's hard to have sympathy for people who call you. So if you don't understand that it's a regional thing. Not all of these Latinos are working hard in fields and farms. Not all of these Latinos are like that. Some of them work in places where it's predominantly them, and their people only employ their own people, even if those people don't have any documents. Hold on, my pit bull. even if their people don't have any sort of documents. So when you make those statements and you make those comments, I need you to actually have conversations with black people who only grew up around Hispanics and Latinos, because they're saying and feeling the things that they feel for a reason. It's not coming out of nowhere. And all the Latinos and Hispanics, they're not all the same. It's a spectrum of them. And to keep in mind, I'm talking particularly about the non-black, more white presenting Latinos.
At this point, if they are still using the N-word, it's considered disrespectful. With all them projects that's out there floating around, a lot of people made projects on this issue concerning Latinos, racism towards black people. So it's already out there. They should not be using the N-word at all. I don't care if it's with the G-A and not the E-R. It still do not matter. Stop using the N-word. You're not black. You shouldn't be using the N-word.
Oh, but when I sat here and said back in November after the election results that white Latinos wasn't really rocking with black people like that and never were, y'all sat here and said I was tripping. Literally a whole video went viral where a man said 100 Latinos versus not saying the N-word, and the white Latinos lost their mind. And there's a specific reason why I'm saying white Latinos. Because if you're black Latino, aka Afro-Latina, you can say the N-word. You're black. But if you're a white Latino, why do you want to say the damn word so bad? You're white. You're still white. One, Latino's not a race. Two, you're white. And then y'all said I was tripping after them election results showed that them Latinos don't rock with black people at all. And y'all thought I was tweaking. Y'all said I was tripping. And now look at them months later. They getting mad because people are telling them no N-word for you. You're not allowed to say it. Stop saying it. Fat Joe might have got away with it 25 years ago, but this ain't 25 years ago when folks was wearing freaking FUBU and freaking velour jumpsuits. This ain't back in them days. This is the year 2025, and black people saying, pause. No N-word for you. I told you them white Latinos don't rock with us like that, bro. They don't like us, bro.
Because white Americans have been living with African Americans even from the day when our ancestors came from Africa as enslaved people. White Americans will work with African Americans who want to work. Latinos will not work with African Americans who want to work. There's a difference. There's a difference. White Americans will work with African Americans who wants to work. But Latinos will not work with African Americans who want to work. Latinos only work with Latino. So if you ask me, I can tell you that from my own personal self, that Latinos are more discriminatory and racist towards African Americans than even.
Y'all seen that video of Latinos calling a black man a porch monkey? Check this out.
Fucking laughing and shit. I'm a what now? You say I'm a what now? Say it. Go ahead and say it now. Now you're on video. Say it. Oh, now you don't want to say it. You don't want to call me a nigga now. He don't want to call me a nigga now. You said listen to the what? He said listen to the porch monkey and go. Yeah.
This black man minding his business in the suburbs outside of Dallas, Texas. And this is how they talk to him. And you seen his response, he was still calm and peaceful. So that internalized racism is deep in there. And they also call black people changa, which is monkey. It's a racial derogatory word. And these racial slurs aren't something that they parroting from a white person. This is in their culture. They created this. Forget about black and brown unity. What about some respect? And look at the picture of him. He could have easily got out of his car and mollywopped one of them. And he could have took on both of them. But instead, he still used respect, even though he was being disrespected.
You know you was wrong for what you did.
What I do?
You know you were hella wrong for what you did.
What are you talking about?
Really?
So there was this one time where my mom got jumped by like 2 black girls. And I just want to say, first of all, my mother has always been a racist Dominican. Now, as you can tell, I'm light, but my nose, the color of my eyes, my hair, and my lips, you feel, pick up what I'm putting down? And so my mother has always been anti-black. She has always been perming her hair, bleaching her skin to appear lighter, attempted to whitewash me and my likes and dislikes, trying to change me and my personality, who I am. You get the gist. And it's just like, I swear to God, I feel like that was karma. Like, all the hate that she's been throwing in her life, her racist ass. I just felt like she got what she deserved. Like, she got, yeah, they couldn't steal from her, but they fucked her ass up. And I truly feel like that was karma. Because after that, baby, she changed. All of a sudden, she got a black boyfriend. All of a sudden, she's not racist. And I feel like they knocked some sense into her.
I'm gonna be real, man. The only times I've been robbed, I've gotten my car broken into, and the only times I've been scammed it's all been by black folks. And I'm not against anybody. I don't hate no race or nothing. But I thought we were minorities, man. Like, why are we doing this to each other, man? We're fighting the same battle, aren't we? Like, it just doesn't make sense, man. And I'm just keeping it a buck, man. We got to keep ourselves accountable, because sliding it under the rug ain't working. We got to better our community.
These mofos go wherever the wind blow. A couple of months ago was, oh, can black people come and protest against ICE with us? This month, since black fatigue is trending again, blame everything on black people. One thing they do stand on business on is when it comes to being racist. But when are y'all going to address the violence in your own culture? You see this 100+ heads spread it all over the freeway. Mexican on Mexican violence. Another one, body, strange, fruity, over freeway passes. Mexican on Mexican violence, but y'all are peaceful. Y'all are non-violent people. And then Trump, all these tweets from Trump, the statements, not even tweets, statements. Oh, Mexican culture, Hispanic culture is filled with drug dealers and rapists. Y'all are a cancer in this country that need to be removed. That's what he stated. Latinos, Hispanics, y'all problems are stacked higher than Mount Everest. DL problems, crimes against children problems. Like, the list just goes on. But yeah, let's focus on black people. Don't worry about bettering our communities, because there's no our communities. Better your own community. People called him out for lying. Where's the police report? He pulled out the police report. This is not even a police report. Gwinnett County, this man lives in Atlanta. So that's like if I move to Mexico, 99% of Mexico population is Mexicans. If a crime happened against me, what? 99% of the chance is going to be a Mexican. So that, according to his logic, all Mexicans are just violent people because that's part of their culture.
Latinos have no respect for black people. None whatsoever. You know how I know? Because they mistreated you and now they're asking you for help with the ice raids and everything. How are you going to mistreat someone, then turn around and ask them for a favor? That means you have no respect for that person. Just like a bully. Imagine someone being bullied, and then the bully asks that person to do something nice for them. After they know what they've done was wrong by mistreating you, they shouldn't ask you for nothing. That's disrespectful. That means they see you as someone they can walk over, take advantage of, and you still gonna do whatever they say. So they view you as someone who is mentally inferior, someone who is dumb, because only a dumb person will help their enemies, or someone who mistreats them.
I'm gonna take a sip of my morning coffee before I say what I'm about to say. You know what? Who cares? What the hell is wrong with Latinos? What the hell is wrong with us as a whole? Like seriously, we need to start talking about this. It first started with over half of us, 60% to be exact, voting for the orange tyrant, voting against our own people, our own interests, and we're seeing how that is playing out. You know what? We're not going there. Then the Latinos had the caucasity to go on Beyonce's internet attacking black people for not rioting in the streets like they were doing during the Black Lives Matter movement on our behalf, when it was the consequences of our own actions that got us here in the first place. Like, how are the caucasity? Like, seriously, that is caucasousness. And to add insult to injury, there are Latinos going on Beyonce's internet attacking Sinners, Ryan Coogler's masterpiece, because there wasn't Latino representation. First of all, don't come for Ryan Coogler, okay? Because while Latino people are just bending the knee and kissing and licking boots just to get invited into the room, let alone a seat at the table, Ryan Coogler was like, F that table, I'm gonna make my own table. Beyonce was like, F that table, I'm gonna make my own table. And they now are inviting their own people to these tables for these opportunities. And you have the caucasity, because that's what it is. Y'all acting like the white people that they want to be so damn bad to be accepted by so damn bad because there's not Latino representation. Y'all are confusing representation with the showcase that was Sinners, the history lesson that was Sinners. Like, it's not the same. What makes me so sad is, when did Latino people become like this? When did the orgullo, the pride, dissipate into thin air? Like, when are we so accepting of bare minimum, a little cameo in the movie, or just like invited to their spaces that they don't even want us in? Like, when did, like, we need to have a talk. We are not okay as Latino people. As a black Mexican American, okay, so I'm both. Can black people just not have their moment? Can black people just not have all the flowers that they're given right now? Because make no mistake, what is happening amongst Hollywood and the entertainment industry in regards to black people bulldozing these doors open and creating their own lanes and creating their own spaces, it's beautiful. It is, man, I'm getting goosebumps because I am so damn proud to be black. You know, I'm so damn proud to be the other, you know, like and then you have Latino people coming in here trying to ride on the coattails. It's like, create your own damn freaking lane. Some Dusty on TikTok want to compare Sinners to From Dusk Till Dawn, which, make no mistake, From Dusk Till Dawn is an iconic movie. One of the baddest women to ever grace the earth was in that movie, Miss Salma Hayek, who created a scene that is so iconic, and I understand that, but how can you compare the two? I'm not getting the correlations, because From Dusk Till Dawn was representation. You just have Latino people in there, but there was no history lesson. There was no displaying our culture so beautifully like Sinners was. You know what I mean? It's like, when did we get like this? Why are we all of a sudden like this in droves? Because like I said, it wasn't even half. It's not half and half. It was over half of us. You know, it all started with the election that kind of put it on display, right? But my gaster is flabbered. I just don't know what to say anymore. I don't know how we got like this, and we need to stop. We need to freaking stop and get out of the way, because this is Black creators, Black directors, Black musicians' time to shine. You know, Black actors. Like, this is their moment. We don't need to try again to attach ourselves and hoping that they, you know, maybe create a lane for. No, we can do that for ourselves. We can do that for ourselves, and we have been. Why are Latino people acting like we're not creating spaces and, you know, creating our own lanes? And there's so many Latinos in the entertainment industry that are doing this for us as well. Like, I don't get it. Now I'm gonna have my sip of coffee, because I'm done. I'm shook.
Man, stop trying to convince these people that we need to stand together and all that. They ain't trying to hear that shit, bro. They've been betrayed so many times, bro. 1877, after federal troops pulled out of the South, bro. Betrayed. 40 acres and a mule, betrayed. You feel me? Jim Crow, betrayed. Redlining, betrayed. Every promise that this country has made to them has been a false promise. And now we need y'all to stand with us while we march. Leave them people alone. They ain't trying to hear that shit. They ain't trying to hear that shit. Because they know how prevalent racism is in our community. And they know how y'all talk about them when they ain't in the room. And they know that now y'all got y'all N-word wake up, didn't y'all? Y'all got that Paul Mooney N-word wake up call. And now y'all want to scream unity and solidarity. Nah, bro. It don't work that way. It don't work that way. The people that have been working together will continue to work together. The people that have empathy for your plight and your situation will continue to have empathy for your plight and situation. But don't try to convince people to come join your side. Like, oh, it's always been. They don't give a fuck. They don't care. They're trying to survive their damn self. They're trying to figure out how this man is about to get rid of the 13th and 14th Amendment and strip them of citizenship. What, you don't think they know what time it is?